Hello, my name is Ilona, and today it's Tuesday, April 4th, 2023, and of course the circus is well on its way in New York with Mr. T. I believe today he will be processed in New York, of course, at the courthouse. I just read an article this morning that there won't be a mugshot. I was so looking forward to a mugshot from Mr. T. Like, something like that, but we're not going to get that. Such a shame. Anyway, he will just be processed, put in the system. So maybe some fingerprints. I'm not sure what they're going to do. And he already mentioned that Tuesday evening, American time, that he will be back in Mar-a-Lago and doing a speech. So we'll hear from him most likely. But the circus is well on its way. And I actually got a question from someone. And I thought that was a very interesting question. Why are the dark energies falling for this obvious trap from the white hats? Because this opens up doors for other former presidents to, also be, be indicted and things like that. It opens up all kinds of things. And this of course has happened with Mar-a-Lago and all those, the things they found there, and later on Mr. B apparently has all kinds of things in his garage and things like that. So one thing opens up other things, and I do understand that, like, why are they still doing that? Well, I believe, and I've mentioned this in other videos as well, although I'm not even sure what I've mentioned in all my videos, to be very honest. But the dark energies, they are very intelligent, but not creative. They are disconnected from God, from source, so they need humanity to generate the energy to manifest what they want. That's why they need humanity. That's why they're focused on transhumanism. They want to combine technology with humanity so they can control humanity completely and control all the energy. This is a spiritual war. That's why I always emphasize that you need to learn how to deal with your energy, because that's what they're after. They want our energy. They need it because they are disconnected from God. They have disconnected themselves. I think it was part of the experiment, although I think in a way it got completely out of hand, but that was also it was possible. But I don't think that when this experiment started with the free will zone, it was really clear what could happen. And obviously we are now in this situation with dark energies who are very self-destructive. That's very important to understand. In a way, they are self-destructive because their plan, which it is, if you look at it from a technological perspective, an intelligent plan, but if you look at it from a spiritual perspective, the plan is going to fail. I'm sure in a certain timeline, they've managed to get humanity and hook them up with all kinds of technology. They're trying in this timeline as well with the stings and things like that. But ultimately, if that would happen, I don't think that's going to happen in this timeline at all, just to make sure. But if that would happen, they would disconnect humanity from source, from God. Then they'll lose their source of energy and they'll have to find some other group to generate that energy. So it is self-destructive. It is just not that intelligent in my mind, if you really think about that. It's like the dark energies are not creative. They need some God to create, and then what's being created, they manipulate, they invert, they use, and of course they use our energy, and especially the children's energy, because it's pure energy. And unfortunately, they do horrible things with that energy and with children. Because of that, they need it to sustain themselves. And like I've mentioned, they're completely focused on technology. They've suppressed the female sacred energy and focused more on the they've twisted the masculine energy. That's how I view things. So they're more rational, very cold, very calculated, very manipulative. That doesn't mean that the male, the sacred masculine energy is like that, because it's very pure, just like the masculine female energy. They are pure energies. Unfortunately, they are not capable of handling pure. So they invert it, they manipulate it. And that's what they've been doing for centuries here on Earth, manipulating the female energy, suppressing it. If you go to school, the focus is completely, at least here in the Netherlands, on learning, rational thinking in a way, but programming as well, because a lot of things that we are learning aren't even really true. There's so much more going on. So it's very limited. They keep it very limited, but creativity is not that important. Empathy, dealing with your emotions or your feelings, that's not what was taught to me at school. And I think for a lot of people, that is the same thing pretty much everywhere around the world. So the emphasis is on thinking, on intellect, and there's ultimately nothing wrong, but they've twisted that as well. So that's why you see a lot of people with high educations actually getting the stinks, because they pretty much are programmed. It's almost like a form of obedience that they manage to push themselves through higher education. And that's a shame. I'm not saying from everyone. There are very critical people, highly intelligent people, but the dark energies, they use things, they invert it, they manipulate it. And unfortunately, they also have an emphasis on psychopathy, psychopaths, sociopaths. They have these tendencies, also picking up the puppets that are put into place, that they are obedient, and they have this recklessness, this non-conscience, like they're not empathic with other people. That's why they can do what they do. And the dark energies feel very superior. They feel they are the superior beings here, and humanity really are just a bunch of cattle that need to be pushed in a certain way, and they just need to follow orders. That's how they look at us. So to them, that there could be traps laid is like almost impossible for them. That is almost like they have to acknowledge that they're not that smart. And maybe you've noticed people in your environment, if you unfortunately have experience with people with narcissistic tendencies or maybe even psychopathic tendencies. If you start pushing, against them or pulling away, they get very destructive. And they'll destroy themselves along the way. They don't care. They don't have empathy. They don't feel that. They don't feel like there's something wrong with them or they need to take responsibility. They really don't have that self-reflective tendency that's necessary to grow. So they can truly destroy you and destroy themselves along the way. They really don't care. And it's very important to understand that, not everyone thinks like you or feels like you, and of course that's fine as it is, but there are people, maybe some of them are not even humans, but those dark energies, those people who are infected by them, have this tendency of just destroying everything and being very arrogant and feeling superior. So even if it's completely laid out, if the trap is, in full sight and they'll still step into it, if they feel that they're going to get something out of it, they will go through anything because they're like, oh, we'll be fine anyway. Although I do think the panic is setting in with the dark energies. We can see that. And ultimately, the white hats are in control. They're still working out certain energies. But let's just, to me, it's how do you say this? The dark energies, to me, they're not that intelligent. Like I said, that their true plan, the ultimate plan, will just lead that they need to find other people because they would disconnect humanity from the source, and from God, from the energy, and that's what they need. But this is a spiritual war, and I'd like to emphasize that. That's why it's so important, because there, of course, I've mentioned false light as well. I also mentioned there are people that see the white hats as part of the false light, that they're actually working for the dark hats, for the black energies. I don't see it as that. But of course, see what resonates with you, because that's the most important part. The key is, just in case, I don't feel it that way, but just in case the white hats turn out to be part of the dark energies, just in case, I have a certain things I will not comply to. There are some deal breakers. I'm not going to be part of that. I will accept the consequences, but I will not give away my energy. And that's the key. Soon as you feel that you have to give away your energy, your independence, there's something you don't want to do and you have to give it, give energy away. You know that there's dark energies happening. They need your energy. That's what they need. That's their main focus. So false light, which is like they take the lighter side, they sometimes even use angels and symbols that they manipulate, that it make it seem like they're from the light side and they're the good energy, but they want you to worship them. They want you to give the energy to them. That's why focus on yourself. Focus on what you want to manifest with your energy, because then they won't be able to reach your energy. We'll be starving them. That's why I'm not afraid at all what's really going on, because as long as I deal with my energy and not just give it away to something outside of myself, really there is nothing to worry about. If I connect my energy with God, with my intuition, with my soul, there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to worry about. I will make decisions that are right for me. That's why it's so important to see if things resonate with you. Do you feel like you're giving away certain energy or certain power? Is some people trying to draw away an energy from you? Then you know there's something else going on and you can make decisions that are good for you. That's why I want to focus on that. I believe the white hats are really here to help us. They do their part, we do our part. Just don't give away your energy to things you don't want to give it away in a way. How to say this? Use your energy for yourself. If you do that for something you want to manifest, you want to see in this world, you want to connect, you want to, create, do that, follow that. But don't let other people decide what you should do, what you should feel. Don't give away your power. You don't do that, you're not connected to the dark energies anymore. It's very simple. So I wanted to say that. There was something I wanted to look at. I did in my Dutch video. In the Netherlands here, we're going to have a very important discussion with the government about the nitrogen. I already mentioned yesterday there is more criticism. There's a book about the nitrogen, trap or nitrogen funnel. If I'm not mistaken, that's the correct translation of that. That really doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm grateful that actually came out now. So today they're going to talk about this. The position of the government here in the Netherlands is why they're still there, but that's part of the arrogance and the superiority and holding on to these old things and not believing that they're losing control. But I do believe that it's going to fall apart. I don't know if it's going to be today, but their position, the government of the Netherlands, will fall sooner or later. We have the judgment. So this is about the energy of what's going on now in the government and the nitrogen. We have the Ace of Cups. To me, it feels like things are moving in another direction. The tide is turning. And this is for me a confirmation that that's actually what's happening here. We have the Six of Pentacles in the past. We have the Three of Swords, which is about pain. There's so much coming out now, the corruption. People are seeing the government here in the Netherlands more and more for what they really are. These ridiculous guidelines here in the Netherlands. As I've mentioned before, that in Denmark and Germany, the nitrogen level is way higher. Why it's the same European guidelines. So why is it so low here in the Netherlands? They cannot explain that. And I think that's going to be a big issue today. And for the near future, we have the Two of Pentacles and the Five of Cups. So there will be sadness, there'll be a lot of disappointment coming out, but it's also going to balance out itself. So I can't say that they're going to fall today, the government of the Netherlands, but they're not going to be able to maintain their position for very long. They are going to fall one way or the other. And I think it will probably be over the nitrogen. And let's face it, it's just complete other nonsense. And people are seeing it now more and more. So this is just a good thing. And I think they're going to be very much a lot of anger and disappointment from the farmers, the fishermen, just the people they've been trying to get rid of. Just how corrupt this system is and how sick this system is. So this is interesting to see. But the change is being made. To me, this feels like it's already, the tide is changing. So I'd like to leave it at this and hope to see you in another video. Bye.